it's direct taxation or government spending. It either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before.
Elon has been
Well, government bureaucracy meet business efficiency.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, two of the sharpest minds in business, are coming to D.C. to clean up and cut some of the bloated agencies, thanks to President Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency. All right, let's dive into the details of what government waste is going to be on the chopping block with our next guest, John Hart, CEO of OpenTheBooks. It's an organization that brings the public as much info as possible about how government spends our money. John, you've been doing this for a long time.
That's right.
And before we get our hopes up, and we're all getting our hopes up, what do they face with the beast that is Washington, D.C., that has been gobbling up our money for decades and decades?
Well, they faced a very powerful beast, but I can tell you there's one example that stands out of success. That was my old boss, Tom Coburn, who showed that one member can cut spending. He forced through an earmark ban. He helped bring about the first real spending reduction since the end of the Korean War. So one member could make a huge difference. Now, if you have Elon Musk and Vivek and President Trump and a whole Congress committed to that, I think there could be real progress made.
I mean, you could actually, right now, cut probably 20% of the government. And
Well,
almost, you know, I'm not talking Social Security, Medicare, but I'm 20% of the government, and no one would notice.
That's right. Well, 40 years ago, President Reagan had the Grace Commission, and they said 1 out of every 3 tax dollars doesn't do anything that's productive. So when Elon Musk...
1 out of 3?
1 out of 3.
Oh, that's right, Grace. Mm-hmm.
And so when Elon Musk estimates there's $2 trillion that could be cut out of a $6 trillion budget, that's not unrealistic at all. Now, of course, you'd have to go into entitlements to get to that amount. But Congress has to start and win credibility and the respect of the public and make progress where there's so much low-hanging fruit.
Most of the spending is Medicare and Social Security.
Well, it's Medicare, Social Security. Half the budget is entitlement programs. But there is so much fraud and duplication that you could $200 billion or $300
we got to start
could disappear.
Somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So it could disappear tomorrow and no one would know the
Now,
difference.
speaking of the Reagan administration, there was talk all those years ago about eliminating the Department of Education, which should have been done a long time ago. But I worked there. You could walk the halls, I think 4 floors. I don't know what half the people did. I was only 22 years old working at the department. And Bill Bennett was secretary, Gary Bauer was. It was a great, great group of people. But there's panic over eliminating this. Here are just some of the headlines the last few days. Axios, what happens if Trump eliminates the Department of Education? CNN, how Trump's pledge to scrap the Department of Education could impact America's children. Can you dispel some of these concerns? They weren't worried about the kids during COVID when they shut the schools, but now they're worried.
Well, here's a couple things. When GAO looked at all the duplication in the federal government, they said that if we downsize government, services will get better because they'll be more efficient. And Coburn was a happy warrior. He showed that every dollar saved in Washington is a dream realized somewhere in America. So the Biden policy was the opposite. You know, it showed that the best way to make something expensive is for government to make it affordable. So what we're going to see with President Trump and Congress is a shift back to letting taxpayers decide what they do with their own money. And that's going to tamp down inflation.
Tell me, who likes the bureaucracy? The bureaucracy likes the bureaucracy, and there's traffic that gets worse every year in Washington, well, when people used to go to work. But the good thing also, Trump is going to require the federal workers to come back to work.
You got it. Well, the other group that likes the bureaucracy are businesses that want to keep out competition. So Elon Musk has come in under fire saying, oh, there's a conflict of interest. Elon Musk wants more competition. He wants to lower barriers and have more businesses come in. So this is a very pro-innovation. This is not an anti-government demolition project. This is a restoration project.
Oh, it should be competition for all of our dollars,
exactly.
But there should be accountability. We're going to get into that next segment. John, thank you so much. Great to see you as always.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.